I never spoke. Now I gotta wash my mouth out with soap. I think I got myself in trouble, so I'll fill the bath with bubbles.
Hello and welcome to the Book Station, and welcome to a Thursday Tales and another second-hand book haul. So I'll start with the book that I'm currently reading. I say currently reading, I haven't actually started it yet, but I'm just about to start Glassthorn's Touchstone by Melanie Rawn. This is the first book in the Glassthorn series, and it's a fantasy about a boy who is part elven, part fae, and part human wizard, and he can't use magic unless it's in the theatre setting. That's what I understand. So yes, I'm excited to get on and read this. And then I have 8 books to show you that I got from charity shops. And yeah, so I'll get on with it. The first one was a big surprise. I didn't expect to find this. But I found a hardcover of The Invasion of the Tearling by Erica Johansson, and this is the second book in the Queen of the Tearling series. So yeah, I'm not going to explain what the first one's about, but I found this in a charity shop for £1, and it's hardcover. It's a little bit beaten up, but who cares? For £1, I'm not going to pass it up, and it's actually a beast. So yes. Second book I have is No Safe House by Linwood Barclay. It says No Time for Goodbye was just the beginning. I'm not sure, but I think this is part of a duology. I don't know if you can read it as a standalone, but I found it, and I've had a lot of people recommend Linwood Barclay to me. So I thought I would give him a go. So I bought it. And I have no idea what it's about, but it's crime or like thriller or something. But apparently he's epic and loads of people like him, so for £1 I thought I'd give it a go. Next book I have is The Skeleton in the Closet and He's Getting Restless by MC Beaton. Now she writes crime books, but funny crime books. And it says, ever since the death of his father, Felworth Dolphin has slaved away as a waiter to support his miserly, cold-hearted mother. So when she dies suddenly, Felworth is surprised to discover she has left him a small fortune. Somewhat confused, Fel teams up with a friend from work, Maggie, to investigate the origins of his newly acquired riches, but instead they uncover a closet full of skeletons. So yeah, this guy's been told a lot about his father, and then his father dies, and him and his friend try and work out whether the stuff he's been told is true or not, and whether there's more to his death than people are telling him. But yeah, I just thought it sounded really good, and I never read any MC Beaton, so I thought I'd give it a go. Next book I have is a bit of a different one that I wouldn't normally buy. It's called Going Home, and it's by Harriet Evans, and I just thought it sounded really interesting. Like I said, not something I'd usually go for. But it says, leaving her tiny flat in London and a whole host of headaches behind, Lizzie Walter is making the familiar journey back home to spend Christmas with her chaotic but big-hearted family. In an ever-changing world, Keeper House is the one constant, but behind the mistletoe and mince pies, family secrets and rivalries lurk. And when David, the man who broke her heart and who she can't get over, makes an unexpected reappearance, it ranks as a Christmas she would definitely rather forget. So yes, it's a book about a woman who gets home for Christmas, and there's loads of shit in the past that gets dragged up again, and dark secrets that come out and all that stuff. So I just thought it sounded really good. And yeah. Next book I got is Big Fish by Daniel Wallace. There's a film about this book, but I haven't read it. It's about a guy who's dying, and his life is being recalled by him. He's telling his grandson about his life, but in like fairy tale and myth style, and they kind of play out. Yeah, I mean, it's a film directed by Tim Burton, starring Ewan McGregor, Albert Finney, Jessica Lange, Helena Bonham Carter. So I thought I would give it a go because it does sound interesting. Oh, and Danny DeVito, but not Johnny Depp, strangely. But yeah, it just sounds really interesting, and it's quite short. So the next book I got is called Knightley and Son by Rowan Gavin. It's the first in the Knightley and Son series. And it says, Darcus Knightley is a perfectly ordinary 13-year-old. Apart from the name, his brain power, his fondness for Tweed, and the top secret files hidden upstairs. But when a stranger from the Department of the Unexplained arrives with news of his father, ordinary is over for good. Alan Knightley was London's top private detective until he went into a coma 4 years ago. Now he's woken up to discover his son has inherited the family talent, and their services are urgently needed. Is a best-selling book making people do terrible things? Could it be linked to a shadowy organisation known as the Combination? It's clear to Darcus that 2 mega-brained investigators of the weird are definitely better than one, and it doesn't get weirder than this. So it sounds good, and it's not too long. And the text is quite big, so yeah, I'm excited to get to this one. And you can't really tell, but in person the cover is amazing. It's really difficult to describe, but there's like different textures on it, and this is like really indented. But yeah, I thought that sounded good. The next book I picked up is Autobiography of a Geisha by Sayo Masuda. And I just love anything to do with geishas. After watching the movie Memoirs of a Geisha, I became, well, not obsessed, but fascinated by geishas. So yeah, this is along the same lines. But I think this came before Memoirs of a Geisha by Arthur Golden. So yes, sounds interesting. And the author was actually a geisha, so it's told from the actual geisha's point. Do you know what I mean? Obviously Arthur Golden is a man, so he's never been a geisha, but he's written a story by interviewing a geisha and stuff like that. But this is actually written from a geisha's point of view. She used to be a geisha, so sounds good. And the last book I got is a bit different as well. I've heard a lot about this author and this book, and I saw it in a charity shop and I thought I'm just going to go ahead and try it, because if I don't like it, I don't like it, and it only cost me 50p. But I got Life After Life by Kate Atkinson, which is a beast. It's over 600 pages, but all I know about this is it's about a girl or a woman who keeps being reborn, and for a while she dies in each life by weird circumstances. So it says during a snowstorm in England in 1910, a baby is born and dies before she can take her first breath. Yeah, and all that stuff. And she becomes comfortable with the fact that this is the norm and she's just going to keep dying and coming back and dying and coming back. But then she starts to figure, well, maybe I can actually change the world and what's going to happen and what's previously happened in these other lives, in the next life, or in a few lives to come. So yeah, I just thought that concept sounded really good, so I picked it up. And like I said, 50p, if I don't like it, it's not a big loss at all. So there you go, that was my Thursday Tales and rather large second-hand book haul. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. If you wish, you may subscribe if you haven't already. And I will see you again very soon. Goodbye.
Guess I better wash my mouth out with soap. God, I wish I never spoke. Now I gotta wash my mouth out with soap.